Calvin Johnson had 2 touchdown receptions in each of the Lions' first 4 games. He leads the NFC with 12, tied for first in receiving yards with Steve Smith, who has gone over 1,000 yards for the first time since 2008 and is averaging almost 18 yards a reception. And in Green Bay, where things are going well, Aaron Rodgers has shared the wealth evenly between Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson. Both have 7 touchdown receptions, and Jennings needs just 71 for 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Larry Fitzgerald has been named to the Pro Bowl each of the last 4 years. He's 57 yards shy of a 5th straight 1,000-yard season. And Roddy White's been to the Pro Bowl each of the last 3 seasons, and like Fitzgerald, White closing in on a 5th straight 1,000-yard season. We're talking Pro Bowl. The ballots are due on Monday, December 19th. Currently, fans can vote, so you can cast your vote. Wart also has a vote, and today we're talking about NFC wide receivers, your picks.
Yeah, let's just remind people the formula, the way the Pro Bowl is selected. That is, fans get 1/3 of a vote, and then coaches get 1/3 of a vote, and players get 1/3 of a vote. And so they have a formula. They tried to describe it to me. I don't know how they do it, but eventually they get to a Pro Bowl team, and then we get to pick it apart. But let's go through the receivers, and starting with the NFC. And this, it was difficult because there were a lot of names, and there's my guys. Calvin Johnson, no explanation needed. Steve Smith, we just talked about Cam Newton, a guy reviving his career. Steve Smith. Victor Cruz has been a revelation for the New York Giants. As good as Hakeem Nicks is, he deserves it. And I'll tell you what, Greg Jennings, I had to go with him. His numbers are better than Jordy Nelson. But I got to tell you now, that Jordy Nelson really merited a lot of discussion. When you talk to other coaches, this is a guy who is getting better and better. And so, therefore, you notice Larry Fitzgerald's not on that list.
That's right.
For guys
that's
playing
one omission I see, right.
Yeah, for a guy who's been playing with struggling quarterbacks, Larry probably deserved the spot. But that's the way I saw it.
I think you see how dependent successful Pro Bowl receivers are on their quarterbacks. And I think that's hurt Larry Fitzgerald, not having that consistent quarterback play and not be mentioned there.
He always loved the kid that comes out of basically nowhere, and the Cruz story is great because he just he shows up. You know, it was always one of those things. He shows up in the preseason, then you don't hear from him again. This year, man, he's been phenomenal, making spectacular catches. Every time you put on the film, man, he's open and he's catching the football,
making big plays. I mean, we talk about Eli being I think Eli's been the best quarterback in the 4th quarter this year. Oh, Cruz is one of the reasons. Now let's go to the AFC.
Wait, Cruz, can we talk about his dance?
Yeah, the salsa. He's got the salsa.
He's got Mort's not anymore. He doesn't want to talk about that. He wants to talk about the AFC. All right, let's do that, shall we?
AFC was a little tougher. I mean, yeah, Wes Welker and Mike Wallace, A.J. Green. I didn't have a problem with that. When I got down to the 4th one, Anquan Boldin's numbers aren't great, but he is truly their go-to guy. He gets the tough yards. And did you know that he's averaging more than 15 yards per catch, which is a pretty good number for him? And then the first alternate, I went with Vincent Jackson. Brandon Marshall had good numbers. I was a little bit tempted with Eric Decker just because I've seen him make so many spectacular catches for Tebow. But there were about 8 receivers in the NFC that could have grabbed at least one of those spots right there.
Well, Wes Welker's season started with a 99-yard touchdown reception in Miami. He leads the NFL in both receptions and receiving yards. He needs 7 more receptions for a 4th season with 100, and then Mike Wallace needs 23 yards to reach 1,000 this season. His 8 touchdown receptions tied for first among AFC wide receivers. And the Bengals' A.J. Green, tremendous, leading all rookies in both receiving yards and touchdown receptions. Not a bad way to spend your rookie season.
I like it more, but just to have a rookie in there, it is surprising. A.J. Green's had a great year, but sometimes as a rookie, to make that Pro Bowl his first year, there's got to be an injury somewhere here, injury somewhere there, and of course, Andre Johnson getting hurt, AFC wide receiver, having the hamstring, being out of the question because of all the time that he lost. I think that opened the door for players like an A.J. Green.
I tell you what, the other guy, Antonio Brown, another Pittsburgh Steelers guy that's really come on here late. That was, obviously he didn't get the playing time early, but he's been a guy that's been a big playmaker for them coming down the stretch here the last 3 or 4 games.
And the Bengals are in the race, and when you hear Marvin Lewis say he's the best first-round rookie or first rookie I've ever been around, that gets your attention.
That's bold.
Can we talk about Wes Welker for a minute? I know he has the benefit of a tremendous quarterback, but all this guy does is produce year in and year out. He's not huge. He's unassuming. He seemingly does everything right.
Best receiver in the NFL about getting separation, getting quick separation in those underneath routes. Wes Welker's body, he's a liar. Okay, you can't read his body language because once you read his head motion, you think he's going one way. He's deceived you. He's going the other way. He plays games with you with his body language, the way he's able to control and contort to sell one route and then run another and create that separation. That's what's so special about it.
You know, the NFL announced that they're getting ready to do like they're going to have their regular scouting combine in February, but they're going to have 8 sub-regional combines for the guys who aren't invited to the regular combine before they head to Detroit to have one for all those guys like Wes Welker who were overlooked because a lot of those guys, and Teddy, you know, you were one of them coming out of college certainly. Did you go to the combine?
I did.
Okay,
but as a D lineman,
but
that was the whole
question. About this, how there are so many guys who
I didn't go to the combine.
I didn't know that.
That wasn't invited.
Yeah,
we're not gonna need you so much here in Indy.
So they have opportunity.
They have opportunities. I mean, I've talked about it with high school players all the time. You see it with college players. And Wes Welker to me is just embodies that, the guy that nobody believed would become this good, and he is this good.
He is this good. Mark Schlereth's over it. He's let it go clearly.
You were good, Steve.
Friday on NFL 32, we break down the balloting for the Pro Bowl tight ends and fullbacks. That's NFL 32 Friday, 6 o'clock here on ESPN2. But first, Chris Mortensen, what's coming up in the Mort Report?